Hey everyone, in my kitchen today we are making a variety of homemade popsicles, perfect for the summer heat. Join me. My name is Jen and I'm from Southern Ontario in Canada, and you might be surprised to know this, but in Ontario we absolutely get heat waves. We get a lot of heat. With the Humidex in Celsius, we are in the low 40s Celsius. For those of you who are watching, my American friends who work in Fahrenheit, that's about 110 to 115 Fahrenheit with the Humidex. It gets hot here and we need ways to cool down as well. I could just stand here beside my fridge and keep letting the cool come out, but popsicles are the next best thing. My kids really love homemade popsicles and they're getting really pricey in the stores. So I wanted to do a video showing you all of my homemade recipes so that you can do this yourself at home and save money, which is what my channel is all about, living on less. So let's get going. This is a bit of a process. It takes a couple hours and I'm really excited to have you along for the journey.
Let's start today with our mint blueberry lemonade popsicles. I'm starting outside getting some fresh mint off my plant. Of course, you could get some from the grocery store or wild growing somewhere nearby. I'm just using plain lemonade as well as blueberries, fresh, and my wild mint. You'll see here that I have special popsicle trays, and what we're going to start with is just to roughly chop up this mint. And honestly, if you look at your local park or a river nearby, you'll probably find wild mint growing if it's the summertime. So just keep an eye out, get to know what it looks like. There's no reason you'd have to pay money for mint. It grows wild everywhere. So you'll see for this that we're not going to start with our little popsicle sticks inside of them. When we freeze them the first time, we won't be putting those in. So let's start with a few sprigs of our chopped mint, kind of 3 or 4 pieces per popsicle. You can see here they're just sitting in the bottom. And then we're going to add like a small handful of fresh blueberries. I'm thinking about 6 or 7 blueberries per popsicle. Now you can easily adapt this with any berries. Blueberries, blackberries, raspberries all taste wonderful in this recipe. And you could even change up the herbs you're using. Maybe you want to do rosemary, for example. And here I've got my lemonade. I like to use white lemonade for this recipe simply because it makes a really pretty popsicle and you can kind of see through it. It looks translucent so you can see your herbs and berries. You can see here all the berries are floating on top. I'm going to teach you a trick in a minute to stop them from all staying at the top. You could also just use a plain plastic cup if you wanted to with a popsicle stick in it if you don't have a special popsicle tray. So we're going to start by putting these in the freezer. Excuse my messy freezer, everyone, and freeze for a couple hours, but keep checking them continually. What you want is for them to be not frozen all the way through, but starting to slush. So you can see here, I kind of poke my finger through, and it's hard, but I can get my finger through and there's some slush in there. That's what you want. At that point, take them out, take your popsicle sticks, and just kind of smush everything around. See how that's going to create a beautiful effect where your fruit and herbs are floating instead of all stuck on the top. It's just a simple, easy trick. It doesn't take much longer in your process, and it makes the world a difference in the visual appeal of your popsicle. And there you can kind of see the difference between when they're just floating on top or they're floating throughout. And then you're going to put it in the freezer again for another couple of hours. And once you know they're good and solid, when you take them out, run it under warm water for a little bit, the tray, and they'll come out very easily. Look how beautiful, and this is such a refreshing popsicle. Next, we're going to move on to our strawberry kiwi layered popsicle. You only need 3 ingredients. I've got some thawed strawberries, you could use fresh, lemon juice, and kiwis. A lot of people make homemade popsicles with sugar. You do not need sugar for this, no added sugar. You do not need any added honey. You just really do need simple ingredients, fruit and lemon juice. You also don't need food coloring, Jell-O packets. If you're a child of the 80s, you'll know that a lot of the homemade popsicles used food coloring and Jell-O. And I have a few kids that are very sensitive to food dyes and additives and preservatives. It affects their behavior. So I really like it when I can just not use any of this stuff and be all natural. So I have here probably about 7 or 8 kiwi just sliced up. And you can definitely try different fruits for this layered recipe. We've done pineapple, blueberry, we've done peach, raspberry. So really just choose what fruits you have on hand. Splash in some lemon juice to keep that beautiful color so it doesn't go brown. And then just put it in a little shake blender or a food processor if you have one until it's smooth. Now I try to put whatever fruit is the most dense or has the most fiber on the bottom. And you'll see here in a minute, there is no need to freeze each layer at a time. That would be really time consuming and you don't have to do that at all. Just put the heaviest one on the bottom. Now I'm going to do up my strawberries. You'll see I'm not washing my container in between. It's all going in the same popsicle, and this dark colored strawberry with a little bit of green kiwi in there, it's not going to make a difference in the color. So save yourself some dishes and just use the exact same blender container over again. Some splash of lemon juice. And you can see here as I'm pouring it in how it's beautifully just sitting on top. It's not mixing with a layer below it. And it makes for a really pretty popsicle. I know my kids in the grocery store, they're definitely drawn to the popsicles that are sold there that are multiple colors layered. So this is just a really nice alternative that they think is cool, and it makes the perfect and healthy dessert for them throughout the summer. Now you can pop your popsicle sticks right in.
I don't wanna stay here, no. Ain't gonna keep it low now. If you wanna go, let's go. Let's wrap it up and hit the road. I just got an awesome vibe, striking the winner.
Freeze this for several hours, and just like our lemonade blueberry ones with mint, all you need to do is run it under warm water, pop that popsicle out, and enjoy. I'm saving my favorite for last, and that is peanut butter chocolate. They're kind of like Reese's peanut butter cups in a popsicle. So basically, I've got equal parts peanut butter and vanilla yogurt. I've lined a baking sheet with wax paper, and I have about 2 to 3 cups of vanilla yogurt and 2 to 3 cups of smooth peanut butter here. And you're just gonna mix it all together with a spoon until it's well combined. Next, you're going to place a disc of about 2 to 3 tablespoons of this mixture on your baking sheet. And then what you're going to do is grab a popsicle stick, and at this point you put the popsicle stick in before we even put it in the freezer. Now you could certainly adjust your size. Mine are quite large, and I will say because they're so rich and so sweet, you could probably make smaller ones and it would be just as good. But this batch is giving me between kind of 12 and 15 popsicles. And you'll see here that it's best to take your spoon and just kind of smooth the tops a little bit if they have peaks on them, because they will freeze this way. So we're just gonna pop them in the freezer for a few hours until they're good and solid. These kind of remind me of like a Magna bar, so they're very rich and a lot healthier with the yogurt as your cream. So after a few hours, you're going to get a pot of water boiling, and a double boiler is what I use to melt my chocolate. You could just do a bowl floating in hot water if you want. A lot of people would microwave their chocolate. Full disclosure, I don't own a microwave. I just believe that it's healthier to not microwave your food. So I always melt my chocolate over the stove, but you could definitely do either or. I also like that as you're melting it up, it stays a lot nicer when you're dipping things in it, because you can just put it on a low heat and it's simmering on the stove and stays hot for quite a while. So you can see the popsicles are hard. If you can knock on them, if you can bang them around, you know that peanut butter mix is hard enough. So now comes the fun part. You're just gonna dip your popsicles in. If you can't get it all the way in, or you're afraid of burning your fingers like me, you can just use a spoon to spread it all over the top part.
I don't wanna stay here, no. Ain't gonna keep it low now. If you wanna go, let's go. Let's wrap it up and hit the road. I just gotta announce some vibes. Striking the winner post now. Liberty's on my mind. We've taken off, we've left the ground. You gotta understand that we get one chance, one chance. You will never regret the things that we'll do. 'Cause
Already you can see the chocolate is starting to harden on the ones I did first, but we're not done. You're going to need to freeze them again. So pop them in the freezer, and probably within another hour or so they'll be ready, just like this.
sleeping in the back of a van, roaming in the wilderness.
You can see what they look like in the center, so creamy and delicious. A little hack for storing, you can obviously just eat them right off the cookie sheet, but if you want to store them long term, just pop them in a container in your freezer. I'm layering mine up with the wax paper that they were frozen on in between so that they don't stick together in the freezer. And then this will stay good for months in your freezer. Just pop one out whenever you want to enjoy.
And that's a wrap. I cannot wait to sit and enjoy these popsicles with my feet up outside in the patio with my kids. Please let me know in the comments below which of these were your favorite, which are you going to try out at home. And I'd love it if you could subscribe to the channel, give a like, and make sure you click the bell notification so you know when another video comes out. Keep your eyes open coming up here on the end screen for more of my videos that might help you out. Have a cool and relaxing day, everyone. For the least, this is Jen.